Welcome back to American Nostalgia Garage. You may have noticed that we have a couple cars on the property. But you probably only notice it if you're super vigilant. If you're really paying attention, you know? Looking in the background, playing true detective. Today, we dug out a project that's been sitting back there for quite some time. I've been hiding it from you for about a year. And today we're introducing the project, show you some of the stuff that we got for the vehicle and what our plans are for it. At a quick glance behind me, you can see that it was quite a chore getting this thing dug out of there because we got a lot of cars in the back and they're all shoved up and Tetrised in. Without further ado, here it is in all its half-assembled glory. This is our newest project. Well, we've had it for sort of. We've had it for over a year now. I've been hiding it from you guys in the backyard. This is a 55 Chevy pickup truck. It is the Task Force series of these trucks. I bought it as a roller. No engine, no transmission. The differential is a 12 bolt. There's no cover on it. It's just been open and in the winter. That's pretty cool. The bed needs some work. I actually have a bunch of bed parts for it. Some other stuff. This is no good. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. I've been telling all my friends that I cannot wait to build this thing. And that's exactly what we intend to do. So let's do a quick walk around and then we'll get to what are some of the parts that we have for it and some of the plans that we have for it. Alright, so when I bought the truck, it came with this rad support with the radiator in it. Came with this bumper. Came with a brand new hood that was never installed. So very excited about that. It did not come with fenders. It didn't come with fenders or inner fenders. So all of that I had to source. But overall, a lot of the metal work has been done already on this truck. And I'm not opposed to doing any of that stuff if I had to, but I don't have to. So that's a benefit. We're good all the way up in here. This is all just surface rust. We're good up here. The brow is good, which is, these are one of the crutches on these cars up here, is this whole area gets rotted out, and this is good. The steps have been replaced on this, on both sides, so that's good. The floor needs minimal work, like almost none. The patch isn't great, but it's in there. That center piece here, that needs to be replaced, but that's a separate bolt-in section. I think it's bolt-in to the floor, and you can buy those repop, so I'm not really worried about that. Came with this bench seat. Came with a dog. Came with this bench seat, and behind the bench seat I have a brand new fuel tank I'm probably not going to use, but it came with it. I mentioned the bed. The bed is the worst part about the truck. There's some rotten spots in a bunch of different areas. The header panel of the bed is caved in. I don't know how this happened, but this probably happened when this bed was off the truck at some point. There is no bed floor. The cross sills that come in the bed, I only have one and it's rotten. The rest are missing. There's a portion of the frame back there that's broken. The fenders overall are they're not good. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is not attached. But they could take a patch. I could patch all of this and have an extra set of fenders. So that's good. The tailgate is actually the best part of the bed, believe it or not, which is usually the opposite, because these things usually take the beating. This is the end of the frame, the back part where the bed is. It's still got these serviceable shackle bushings with the Zerk fitting on it, which is pretty cool. And then here, you see there's a totally broken off piece of frame. It's booger welded right here, but it's not doing its job. So that's going to have to get fixed. This fender is more of the same thing. A little more rotten out down here. In here is a little bit better. This step is a little bit better than the other side. But like, look at the cab corners. It's new, and it's all metal. All of this. This is the floor on the passenger side. Decent shape. Needs to go over with a wire wheel, and then we'll probably rust convert it and paint it. But it's going to get a carpet. And then again, look at the sheet metal here. It's in great shape. The whole thing. It really is. It's the interior, just surface rust on the roof. A wire wheel, take that right off. Here's the dash. We're missing every single piece of it, but that's fine. You know, I buy projects like this on purpose so that way when I put it together I know exactly how it is. And then here's the engine bay. Firewall's in great shape. The frame is in great shape with the exception of that piece on the back that I showed you. One of the positives to this truck, it has a lot of positives, I think, in my opinion. But one of the positives to this truck is it came with these steel wheels that have 325s on them, which saves me the headache of buying them myself, because there's no doubt about it, this truck was going to get a steamroller. The minute I decided I was going to purchase this truck, it was getting a steamroller tire, and the good thing is, it's already got them. The fronts have to be changed because the fronts are these regular garbage steel wheels. This doesn't really hold air. Good thing about that is we have front tires already. We have the matching front set for the truck. So we've got that. So now the question is, what else came with the truck? Let me show you. Welcome to our secret undisclosed location. Actually, all it is the garage that's attached to the house. This actually used to be the garage I used to do all my work in. Now it's just a storage facility for other stuff and whatnot. But there's a car under here, and it is a 33 Ford Hot Rod kit car. And you guys let me know if you want to see this on the channel, but this needs to get finished. I actually started this back in 2019 and then kind of put it aside and, you know, just left it alone. But I've got to get back on it and finish it. Anyway, all this right here is a pile of truck parts. So let me get some of this stuff torn out of here and we'll show you what we got. All right, we got the original heater box. We've got some brackets, which I'll explain in a minute. We've got some emergency brake cables, some hardware, and some seals and weather strip and stuff. We got what I think is like a lower grill filler panel, and we got some fender trim, some more brackets and things that go with that other brackets. I don't know if this is giving away what these boxes of brackets are, but we've got 2 boxes of Bilstein shocks. I'm not entirely sure what's in this box. It looks like some sort of cross member bar, and then that just rained rust on me. We've got these, which are incredibly important, and again, they go with the brackets over there. Don't worry, I'm going to explain everything. Here's the diff cover that I should have put on 9 months ago. Here's a really heavy box of brake parts. Show you that in a minute. Here's another pretty heavy box of, we'll just say parts for now. We've got this long box with some stuff in it, I'll tell you. Really not sure what's in this one, I gotta look. Got this box, gotta look at it. All right, well, if you're familiar with these trucks at all, this next one's gonna be a giveaway. I don't know if you can look real close, I can't tell if that's in the camera or not. We have a cross member that says Heights right on the front of it, and then some boxing plates. We got some door panel inserts. I bet you can't tell what this is. All right, now I think that's everything that we have for this truck. That's not true. There is one giant box in here that is side glass, vent window glass replacement, front windshield and rear windshield. It's a giant box in there, and I think that it costs a couple of bucks. But we have it. I'm not going to drag it out because it's glass, and I don't want to break it. I also have the other door, but that's behind the glass, and I don't want to break it. So let me explain what we got here. So here's our whole mess of parts here. These are coil springs that are all packaged up, and front shocks, some coil isolator rubber pieces. We've got 2 of them. I've got some Bilstein shocks here, and then I believe these are rear coil springs. Yep. Oh, that's a coil over. Okay. So you can catch the drift of what's going on here. These are coilovers. Then moving on over here, we have that grill filler panel for the truck. We have our trim pieces for the fender. This is a Chevy 3100 originally. We'll get to, later on we'll get to whether it's going to be a 3100 moving forward or not. But you, spoiler alert, you can figure out whether that's going to happen or not. And this is a giant bag of hardware, brake cables, brake hoses, and then we have some, this is a front windshield with the lock trim. This is, what is that? Hood to cowl. These are the door seals. Over here we have more Bilstein shocks. Oh, these are coilovers also. So we have 4-wheel coilovers for this thing, which is fantastic. Again, we'll get to what's going on here in a minute. I don't know if you recognize that kind of bracket, but this is, if you watch some of our previous videos, this may look familiar. It's modified, but it's similar. When we did our 4-link on our 66 box Nova, these are similar to the brackets we had. So, I already kind of broke the news to you. This truck is getting 4-linked. And this is part of the 4-link brackets. These are the 4-link bars under here. These are upper spring mounts for the front. If you're aware, these trucks are originally leaf springs in front and rear. So, as you know, we're getting 4 links and coilovers in the rear. And the front is getting a the front is, yes, also getting a coilover, or at least a coil spring. I got to look at what I have. I think this is some sort of bracket for like the upper shock mount or something. I'm not entirely sure. That might get welded in somewhere in the rear. Here we have that diff cover that needs to go on. Here's a bunch. This is that box of brackets I was talking about. This is all, it's a triangulated 4-link kit. We're not going to probably do it that way, but we can use a lot of the brackets. Like, we could probably use that. Not sure if we will or not, but there's our heater box. Over here we have brake rotors. We have calipers, so we're getting disc brake conversion. And we have enough for front and rear. So that's all that stuff. Now this is a spicy box right here. This is a spicy upgrade because it's got 2-inch lowering spindles right here. And then we have these so we can actually notch out the frame. I'll show you what that's for in a minute. But we've got tubular steel control arms, upper and lower. So we're in good shape here. Got all the hardware to go with it. We got 37-foot long bolts to mount those little control arms on. Now this box. I don't know if you can see inside the bag here, but this is a rack and pinion from a Mustang 2. So this truck is going to get rack and pinion. Really excited about that. Now this giant bracket here that you can see says heights right there. with the rest of these Heights boxes here and some of these Speedway boxes with the brackets. This is the front cross member for which the rack is getting mounted to, the control arms get mounted to, and it gets welded into your frame. And then there's some boxing plates that go here on the inside of your frame to strengthen everything up. So basically, it's going to get a completely modern front suspension setup with a new coilover setup on the front and rack and pinion, tubular control arms and whatnot, and disc brakes. In the back, it's going to get a 4-link with coilovers and disc brakes. This truck is definitely getting, I mean, maybe not the best of the best, but the best of better than what's in there. I don't know. This other box right here is the door inserts to the inside here. They mount right here to cover all of this stuff and make it nice. You can spray those like body color or whatever. With the truck, we got 2 brand new doors. This is one of them. The other one's behind me in the garage here. And then, like I said, we have a giant box of glass in the back. So now I'm going to drag a couple of these body panels over to the truck so we can get them like mocked into place and just make it so that the truck itself is a little bit more compartmentalized. I don't really want to put these doors outside, and I don't have to, but it might help keep some of the moisture out of the rest of the truck. All right, the scavenger hunt continues, and I guess it's over now because we found it. These are all, I won't say new, but new to me, bed parts, and they're in excellent shape. So we have 2 bed sides. We have 3 fenders. One of them, that one's brand new, the black one, so it's still in the EDP primer. And then we have 2 of whatever these came out with, and they're in very good shape. I believe we have a step on one of them, and then we have a new step up there. I think we actually have 2 new steps. And then up here, we have 2 new steps, cross sill for the very rear of the bed. That's this part. And then we have an extra grill. Now I have 2 grills for this truck now. I have this black one, and I also have a chrome one in the garage. Now I'm not going to throw any of this stuff on right now, but what I might do is throw it on top of a pallet so it's off the ground, so we don't have any issues with the stuff when we're ready to go put it on. The last little bit of our scavenger hunt is these inner fenders, which you may have seen earlier in the video, and we showed the bed here. But yeah, these got to go on the inside of our outer fenders. So they'll go somewhere in here. So for now, the plan is going to be get some hardware so I could put the doors on the truck, and then we're going to put the inner fenders and outer fenders on the truck, because there's some fenders over here. I'll show you those now. All right, here's a set of fenders that we have for this truck. They are not in very good shape. They'll probably take a patch. This one's got a nice dent in it right there, right on the body line. Both of these can be worked out, and they have nice patina on them, and we could definitely use these. But let me show you what we're actually going to use. Side note, this is some go-kart stuff that we're going to have coming up on the channel soon. This is a 2-seater carter, and it's getting this whole set up, and I'm doing stuff. So, but the reason we're climbing around in the thorns over here now is for these fenders right here. There's 2 of them. They're body worked and painted. I actually got these from a guy about 7 hours away. I don't know how much you guys know about the fenders for these trucks. They're expensive as repops. They're even more expensive if you can find originals that aren't completely mangled. These are repops. The other ones are originals. I'll probably patch up the other ones, but this is what we're going to use for now. And let me dig them out and get them on the truck. All right, right next to this little person, we have our fenders over here and our doors. We're all going to learn together because I don't know what order all this stuff happens in. I'm going to probably take the hood off. I'm going to maybe install the inner fenders first and then do the outer fenders. I don't know if they're supposed to be installed on the outer fenders first and then put it, I don't know. So we're all going to learn together. All right, so the inner fenders that go here and here, got one right here. They are definitely like a 9th grade like trigonometry problem to get these things mounted here. I couldn't figure out which side was the front and which side was the back and which side was left and right. But what I will say is, this is a mounting bolt, this is a mounting bolt, and this is a mounting bolt down here. Up here, it doesn't do what you think it does. It actually comes across this body line. So the outside of this fender here ends up like out here somewhere. So I'll show you. All right, so first I'm gonna slide this piece over whatever this is. It's gonna go away anyway, but for now. Then there's this bigger hole on the front here that's gonna go over that rotten bolt that's never gonna come out. And then I can actually throw a bolt in here, because that's where this is gonna go. So I'm gonna hold the top portion. Should probably buy stock in 3/8 hardware, because I already use a ton of it, and we're going to be using a lot more of it putting this truck together. All right, that back one down there, I'm gonna actually have to clearance part of the fender here, because it won't let it slide back enough for me to get a bolt through the hole into that bracket I showed you. But for now I got it here, it's not going anywhere.
To put this car in?
Yeah, we could probably need like 10 boxes of those bolts.
I have one here.
Alright, so I got both of those kind of on there. Here is a snapped off version of what's going to happen on the other side. Put a nut up here. This is what I was talking about. This fender, inner fender, actually comes past this part where it's like the engine bay, and now we're into like the inside of the where the fender would be. On the other side, this wasn't cut out away enough to get, in order for me to get what this bolt hole in without like pushing the fender back enough. We're going to throw this up here. And then I'll throw one in right here on the front. Alright, that's almost like it's mounted on there. If only cars actually went together this easy. It's like Legos for adults. For anyone that's interested in these trucks, one thing I could say is they're not for the faint of heart, because they're not cheap to buy parts for or to find. I already know, I can tell you already that there are going to be several things I'm going to have to make from scratch for this truck. Alright, what I actually had to do, I did it off camera just because there was a lot of obscenities, is I took that bolt out that I put in up here and I just sandwiched all three panels. This filler panel is kind of, it's not in there correctly, so it's kind of getting in my way. And then I threw one of the bolts in the back, so that's on there now. Alright, I got one door on. The fight that ensued trying to get this on by myself was one of epic proportions. It's definitely going to be written about in future textbooks in American history. So, you know, read about it. I'm going to see if I can film me putting on the other door, but no promises. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to preload a couple of 3/8 bolts with washers. I'm going to have to slide the door on here. There's two pockets in the door. I'm going to have to slide the door onto both of these and then get a bolt in there and get started and just turn it. So. You can tell by the way that the metal is shrieking that I'm doing it right. All right. I'm going to try and get the top one. All right, so. All Alright, so in here is where I'm going to get my first bolt, or I'm going to try. If I can get the first couple threads on, which I think I did, then it'll hold itself. And then down here is another bracket. So I'm going to take the short bolt here. And again, we're not final mounting, so it's really not that important to get it exactly right. Right now we're just trying to get it on. All right, well, it shuts far from correctly, but it shuts. It actually looks like a truck now. Looks like a crazy truck from something out of a Twisted Metal video game, but it does look like a truck. If you're following along and you've made it through this far in the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out, and I would really appreciate it. But now that we got the truck together, there is one piece of the equation that I've left out so far. We talked about the suspension, we showed you the body panels, we've talked about brakes, we've talked about all the other things. I didn't mention the interior, but that's going to get a full interior. But one thing I did leave out was, what are we going to power that thing with? And for that, I bring you to another car that you guys have not seen on the channel yet. This is our 2000 GMC Sierra, and it's a parts car, so if you catch my drift. We're not going to be using a whole lot on it, but one thing we are going to be using is right there. This is the tried and true GM 6-liter LS engine. We have to get it out of this thing because it is going to go in the truck. We're probably not going to use the transmission that's attached to it, but we do need this engine, and then once we're done with taking that out and whatever else we need, this is all going to go. I have some other things I'm going to use for our work truck. You'll probably see that in a future video. Obviously, we're not doing that today, so you'll have to wait to another future video when we're putting a drivetrain in that thing. Probably a little ways off of that right now, but it is going to happen, so stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. That's where we're going to call it on this one. I did something I've been wanting to do for a while. Got a million projects here, as you guys can see. There are some you don't even know about. If you guys enjoyed watching me work on this truck and you're eager to see what comes in the future, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think I should do with this thing. If you have any ideas or suggestions, or just want to let me know that you like my beard, I don't know. As always, I just want to take a minute to send out my appreciation to all of my viewers. You guys are awesome. The guys that have been here from day one, the guys that stick through every video, I really appreciate you. I hope that we can gain some traction and get more of you in the future. And thank you guys so much for watching. American Nostalgia Garage, out.